Hello guys, welcome back to channel with another video. It looks like Coach Stephanie White has given yet another interview. And for this one, we gotta head straight to Indy. Let's get it. I've mentioned this before, especially during the off season. Stephanie White just cannot stay away from interviews. To be fair, once the season started, she pulled back, quieted down, and let the team do the talking on the court. But here we are again, and she's ramping things right back up, making appearances on podcasts left and right. And this latest one? Oh yeah, it was all about the hottest topic right now, second only to that Sandy Brondello situation. The big question fans keep asking, will Caitlin Clark return this season? Now, we all know Caitlin Clark has never dealt with an injury before. This whole situation is brand new for her, for the Fever, and honestly, for the league itself. And when something like this happens, speculation goes through the roof. Everyone's trying to figure out, is Caitlin done for the year? Or is there really a loophole that could bring her back? If you've been following the channel, you know we already broke this down in detail. If you missed that video, make sure to check it out. It's one of the best we've put out. But here's the kicker. Coach Steph went on the show, and she really got into it. She didn't just talk about Caitlin Clark. She also touched on Aaliyah Boston, the injuries, and the pressure of coaching through all of it. You could hear it in her voice. This isn't just about X's and O's. It's about managing expectations, protecting her players, and figuring out what's next for a team that's already been through a wild ride. I've got to be real here. I'm putting some of this on Indiana. Caitlin wasn't supposed to get hurt like that. Call it bad luck. Call it management. Call it whatever you want. But to me, the Fever's handling of her minutes and usage definitely played a part. Still, that's not the main point. The real story remains the same. Could Caitlin Clark shock the league and make a return this year? With all that said, let's roll the interview. Let's hear from Stephanie White herself and break it down.
You know, and it's been a roller coaster. I mean, as someone who's had multiple injuries, like I can say that it's hard being away from the team, and it's hard not doing what you love to do. But what I've absolutely been so proud of her for is her continuing to pour into her teammates. I mean, she is the #1 cheerleader on the sideline. She continues to be engaged in everything that we do, talking to her teammates, communicating what she sees to them, communicating what she sees to us. You know, being a cheerleader for them, talking in huddles. You know, it sucks when you're not able to play, but you also can gain a different perspective when you're watching from the sidelines. You know, see it a little bit more from a coach's perspective, from a coach's point of view. And you know, I don't doubt that Caitlin Clark is always hungry, but you are hungrier when you're not able to participate. And I think this season, you know, has she's regained a new perspective, a different perspective. We have been able to watch her navigate that in the classy, mature way that she does everything else. And I have just continued to be impressed by how she pours into and leads this team.
As a coach, you've been able to work with lots of generational talent. I mean, Tamika Catchings, Alyssa Thomas, now Caitlin Clark. Is there any similarities that you see through in terms of a through line with some of these generational type of players?
I think first and foremost, they are incredibly competitive. The most competitive players on the team. There's no doubt. You know, they refuse to lose. They want to win everything, whether it's a drill, a half-court shot, you know, the ball game, whatever it is. You know, the willingness to do all the things that it takes to do that. You know, I think the other thing is just the way that there's a work ethic and there's a work style, right? Like you can be in the gym for a long time and get very little accomplished, or you can be in the gym from a purposeful standpoint and get so much accomplished. And the way that they work, how purposeful they are in everything that they do, not taking plays off, you know, not taking possessions off, not taking workouts off. It matters. It matters. And that's a separator. You know, every player in the WNBA is an elite talent and a great player. And what separates the best of the best is that work style as much as their work ethic and their commitment to being the best that they can be every single day. And that competitive spirit, competitive fire.
I want to dive into the playoffs. You said your win of the week was getting one, stealing one in Vegas in game one. What impressed you the most about your team in game one?
Our discipline on the defensive end of the floor. No, we didn't do everything perfectly, but we played with multiple levels of effort. We stayed disciplined and defended without fouling, which was going to be a key for us. We have to keep Vegas off the free throw line, and we have to stay disciplined in terms of our coverages and our point of attacks. And you cannot give a team like Vegas all three areas, that's scoring in the paint, scoring from the 3-point line, and scoring from the free throw line. And we were able to neutralize a couple of those areas, and that's what we have to do. So I was really pleased with our defensive execution and our defensive discipline.
Yeah, and Asia Wilson went 6 for 22 in that game. How do you prepare for a player like Asia Wilson in the Aces? How do you prepare for a group like that?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is, she's the best player in the world. You're not going to take away what she does best. She missed a lot of shots that she typically makes. We just have to try to keep her off balance and try to make her shots as tough as possible. I think AB was quoted as saying, "I just tried to be annoying," and that's it. I mean, you just have to try to make it as difficult as possible. She's gonna do what she does best. There's a reason she is a 4-time MVP of this league, but we can't allow Asia Wilson to go off and then allow them to get multiple 3-point field goals for everybody else on the roster, and then allow them to get to the free throw line. And they are at their best when that ball is moving. It is pinging. They are sharing the basketball. So we have to try to be disciplined enough to force them to play off the bounce, to force them to hit tough twos, to make them be individual playmakers, as opposed to consistently putting us in rotation and getting exactly what they want on the offensive end.
A lot of the headlines called the Fever the underdogs when it comes to semifinals matchup. Do you guys view yourselves as underdogs in this point of the season?
I don't think we really view ourselves as anything other than just wanting to go out and to compete every single day. We don't listen to the outside noise. We keep our locker room very insulated. We know what we're capable of, and every single day we want to compete to the best of our ability, to compete to our standard, which is to be relentless, which is to be disciplined, which is to play hard and put one another in positions to be successful. And when you do those things, you give yourselves opportunities to win. And so, it doesn't matter if we're considered the underdog, if we're considered the favorite. We want to approach it the same way. So we try not to get caught up in all of that. We try to just show up to work every single day and play hard for each other, continue to put one another in positions to be successful. And when we do that and we give ourselves every opportunity, we can be proud of that every time we step on and off the floor.
I feel like the through line for a lot of W players this season, players like Veronica Burton and Elena Smith, has been right.
At the end of the day, what Stephanie White said about Caitlin Clark's 2025 return is going viral for a reason. It wasn't just coach speak, it was raw truth. White laid it out clearly. This isn't only about talent. It's about hunger, fire, and that relentless competitive edge that separates generational players from everyone else. When you listen to her talk about Caitlin, you realize she's not just hyping her star player. She's putting Clark in the same conversation as legends like Tamika Catchings and Alyssa Thomas. That's no accident. It's recognition of the fact that Clark's leadership, maturity, and work ethic have already cemented her as something special in this league. Think about it. Clark has been sidelined, unable to play. But instead of folding or fading into the background, she's been the team's loudest voice, its most active presence, and the one pushing everyone around her to be better. That says everything about her character and why her return in 2025 is already one of the most anticipated moments in basketball. White made it clear, Clark hasn't just been